Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Bitcoin in this video, so please stick around to the end. I have some pretty big news that I want to share with you guys in the crypto markets, and it's pretty exciting, so stick around till the end. And if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I often talk about this kind of stuff, and with that being said, let's get right into it. So if you've been paying attention, we had a major leg up in Bitcoin today. We had a price surge of about 12%. I haven't checked it in the last hour or so, but woke up to a pretty big green candle, which is always exciting. And I've been expecting this for some time, so it's really great to see. And there's really a lot going on right now. We have the governments debasing the currencies at record rates, and so it's really forcing people to look for alternative ways to store their capital. And this not only at the retail level, but now we're seeing it at the corporate level. So if you look at what's going on, you see the governments are printing money out of thin air. They're just giving it away. You don't even have to work for it anymore. And that is destroying the purchasing power of these dollars. No one wants to trade their house that they had to work years and years for some currency that you can just sit around and play video games and watch Netflix, and the government just deposits the cash into your account now. So it's really changing the way people are looking at this whole thing, and people are waking up to what's going on with the currency debasement and the inflation that's taking place. You can see the inflation levels if you look at the price of real estate and stuff like that. And so what that's doing is it's forcing people to look for alternative ways to store their capital. And now when we have something like Bitcoin that is disinflationary, and if you don't know what that means, if you don't understand inflation, check out some of my other videos, do some of your own research, and it will really pay for you to learn about this and learn about how they're debasing the currencies and how they're losing their purchasing power, so that you can hopefully look for alternative ways to store your wealth that will hopefully outperform these fiat currencies. And that shouldn't be too hard, but for your average Joe that isn't aware of this kind of stuff, there's a little bit to learn. So I do encourage you to do your own research. But if you learn about that and you learn about inflation, you see what's going on, you'll learn that these currencies are losing their purchasing power at an exponential rate as these governments just print this money out of thin air and give it away, trying to paper over this crisis. So we have a debt crisis, we have an economic crisis where all these businesses are being forced to shut down, and yet we're seeing stock prices rise, we're seeing real estate prices rise. And why do you think that is? The only way that this is possible is by the central banks creating this money out of thin air and then giving it out for next to free. And most of these corporations are able to borrow at less than 1%. So really this is basically free money. And when people are getting free money, there's almost no risk involved, and they can just buy whatever they want. So that's why we're seeing asset prices get pushed up, and people are fleeing out of dollars. They're buying up the stock market, they're buying real estate, they're buying gold, they're buying silver, and now we're seeing people rush to Bitcoin because Bitcoin has its own monetary policy that is disinflationary, meaning that every 4 years it's programmed into the currency itself that the new supply of Bitcoin coming onto the market gets cut in half. So I think we're just under 2% in annual inflation right now, and in 2024 I believe it is, that will get cut in half again and will be under 1% inflation. So as all these governments are inflating at record levels, Bitcoin is going the other direction, and there's less and less of it available. And if you know about supply and demand, you know that the less supply there is of something, that leads to an increase in price. And if we have increased demand, that also leads to an increase in price. So right now what we're seeing is a supply pinch, so a bottleneck in the supply. We're seeing record levels of Bitcoin be taken off the exchanges, and so there isn't as much Bitcoin available. Why we're seeing this crazy run up in price. And like I promised you, I would share the big news in Bitcoin, and that is that we had Elon Musk announce today that they have bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin, and they are also going to be accepting Bitcoin as payment towards their cars. And that is huge news. I suspected this for some time, that Elon would announce this soon. We've seen him kind of hinting at that on his Twitter. He had recently changed his bio and his Twitter handle to just have the Bitcoin symbol, and that was it. So he was kind of hinting that something like this was coming, and today they announced it this morning that they have in fact bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And I think the reason we're seeing this is because we've had the people like Michael Saylor come in and buy well over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin just in the last 6 months. And so this puts pressure on these other billionaires to do the same, because what happened is Michael Saylor's net worth doubled or over doubled in 6 months. And so when somebody like Elon sees that, he sees how quickly somebody like Michael Saylor could catch up to him in net worth. And all these people want to be, you know, the biggest, loudest Chad in the room. So what they do is now they have this pressure to outperform these other billionaires. And so it puts pressure on them to at least explore and consider Bitcoin when all these other billionaires, corporations, hedge funds, and even nation states now are starting to acquire and hold Bitcoin. So I think this is just the start of the next major leg up. And this is kind of the next phase, in my opinion. We saw the kind of speculative people that were willing to take the risk and buy and hold Bitcoin in the beginning when it was much riskier. And now that we're, you know, heading up towards a $1 trillion market cap, Bitcoin is no longer just a, extremely risky experiment. It's been running for 12 years without any hacks on the network itself, and it's been proving to act as a store of value. People's main argument against it is its volatility, but you cannot have price discovery and price appreciation without having volatility. So to me, that's all noise. Ignore the volatility. My strategy has been buy and hold. I learned the hard way trying to sell and buy back in, and it's not a game I want to play anymore. So my new strategy is just continually buy. If there's any major corrections, I'll be purchasing more Bitcoin at that time, and then just hold. I'm not looking to try and make quick money off this. It's a buy and hold strategy for me. When we're seeing all of these big corporations come in and choosing to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. This is no longer a small play. I've been expecting this for some time. And really, when we're seeing big corporations and high net worth individuals like Elon Musk buy and hold Bitcoin, this shows me that the market has matured. And the next level of adoption I see coming in is again, big financial firms and nation states. And so at the sovereign level, I think we'll start to see actual nation states buy and mine and hold Bitcoin to try and hedge against these crazy times where all of the currency is debasing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know below what you guys think is going on. I hope you guys all have some exposure to this market. This is not financial advice, and please do your own research. But it's more important than ever to be diversified and to be at least holding some of your wealth outside of dollars. And the nice thing about Bitcoin is anyone can buy it and hold it. You don't have to be a billionaire. You can buy just $20 worth, and you can't even do that with gold or silver. There's often minimums. So to me, this is a great thing where just your average retail Joe Blow can actually come in and get some exposure to the market. So that's one of the things I love about Bitcoin. And that's why I've spent so much time trying to wake people up to what's going on, because it's very exciting. We've never had this kind of opportunity before in history, and so to me it's been just a massive opportunity for your average small-time investor, and that is why I love it so much. And I hope you guys are paying attention and learning about finance, learning how to save money, learning how to get ahead, to grow your net worth and all of that. Don't get discouraged by the fact that you might not have very much money at all. Start small and grow from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll see you in the next one.